Hi. Today's lesson is about prioritizing work and making sure you know what the work is and kind of thinking about the steps for figuring out which assignment or which project to work on next. So if organization and work completion is something that's difficult for you, there's some basic steps that kind of are always consistent, and it's not going to address every single thing that's hard about organizing or turning work in, but this is where you start. So the first thing is, like, how do I know what I need to work on first? And there's sort of two pieces to that. The first piece is, where do I even look if I don't know what I'm supposed to work on? So there's two different places that you should look to start out. One is your Google Classroom for each class. You can see here's an example of Google Classroom. Every teacher is going to set it up a little bit differently, which can be sort of frustrating and annoying. But there's a couple spots that you should be able to check, and then they might also give you more specific instructions. The first spot is right here. You can see it says upcoming work. It says no work due soon. That's because I made this video in the summer. You'll have work in there always. So that's one spot to look. And if you click on View All, I'll click, it won't say anything, but you can just see that it has assignments and it has due dates. It wasn't blank because I started putting stuff in. Okay, so then the next spot to look, if you're not sure, would be if you go to these little three bars on the left side and click, you can go to Calendar, and if you click that, it gives you a view of that week, and it'll show all of the assignments from all of your Google Classroom classes here, and each class is usually a different color. If you click on the arrows, you can change like to the next week or the previous week, but this is another visual way to see like what is the work I was supposed to do. Different teachers may also have work in the stream or in the classwork section, and that unfortunately is probably not going to be the same from teacher to teacher. So if you're using Google Classroom to check, then you have to not just look at it, but you need to write down or type out or print the list. What are the items that need to be done? The next place to look is going to be PowerSchool. Again, different teachers do things differently. For whatever reason, you sort of might need to check both spots. So PowerSchool is going to be where you check your grades. I already have the PowerSchool visual up here, so this doesn't show you how to log into PowerSchool, but we'll make sure you know if you need help with that. But when you are in PowerSchool, if you go to Quick Lookup, mine is right here on the left. Yours might be a little drop-down box on the right, but Quick Lookup is the tab that you want to be on. And if you scroll down, you'll have all of your classes listed here. And then it'll say quarter one, quarter two, exam one, semester one. So whatever quarter you're in, you not only need to look at the grade, because there will be a grade here, you need to click on it, and then it's going to leave a list of all the assignments that your teacher has entered into PowerSchool so far. Again, this is before school starts, so there's no assignments found and no assignments scored, but this is where they would be. You'll be able to see assignments that are put in and are graded. You'll also be able to see if an assignment is put in, if there's dashes that sort of look like these dashes, then that means the teacher assigned it, but they haven't graded it yet. Also, there's these little keys on the bottom, the green check mark, collected, late, missing, exempt. So if you notice, like it says missing, that means they did check and it is still missing, but they may or may not use that consistently, like among teachers. All right, so just to recap, you've got two places to check: Google Classroom for all your classes and PowerSchool. And all your classes are going to be listed in the same quick lookup section. All right, so now you have that. You have your list. You have to make a list. There has to be somewhere where you kept track of your to-do list. The next step is starting. And a lot of times there's this like circle of avoidance where it looks hard and overwhelming, so you just don't do it and you do something else and don't think about it. And for a little bit, that feels really good because it's like a relief because you don't have to do the hard work. But ultimately, it's going to come up again, and you're not getting any better at challenging things or trying to get through hard stuff. So it just has to be worked on. A few tips I would say for if you're working at home, especially, which a lot of us are a lot of the time, having an area that there's nothing else to do. So like an empty desk or an empty table that maybe only has your supplies for school, pencil, eraser, computer. Not having other tabs open on the computer is huge. I mean, it's a huge suck, and it's a huge like attention shift. Multitasking doesn't work. So having to kind of like set those parameters for yourself, like setting yourself up so that you can start the work and you can get it done. If you need help with sort of setting up your space, we can work on that. So let us know. All right, so I'm going to be asking you to prioritize your work, show me your total list, and then show me what are you going to work on first. So now you have a whole list. How do you know which one's most important to work on? There's two different ways to organize that. One is by just like what's the most urgent or the biggest amount of points. So in this class that I'm in, what do I really have to do first? And those are the two kind of components to that. Is it a huge project or a huge test that I know is going to really impact my grade? Or is there something that like I know I have to do by tomorrow? And then the second piece of it is how much effort do I have right this minute to put in? Like maybe you are completely exhausted, it's 9 p.m, you're so tired, but you do want to accomplish something. So maybe then you do sort of back off some of those major things and kind of go to the next step. Well, what's something smaller that is also a decent amount of points or is important for me to do because I just don't have that energy right now to tackle the big thing. There's two different ways to do it. It's just that you can't always avoid the big things, right? So prioritizing the work and using those kind of guidelines, I guess, it's something that's really hard to work on, but the only way to get better at it is to practice. So we're gonna check this. I'm gonna ask you to show me the list, the work that you're working on. I'm gonna ask, did you get it done? I want to see it. And this is what we're gonna do a lot. So get excited.